A woman escaping her toxic marriage boarded the wrong plane and sat beside a mysterious man who turned out to be a millionaire CEO. The camera pans over a dimly lit living room, where a woman, Emma, is cornered by her husband, Michael. The tension is palpable as he raises his voice, threatening her. "If you open your mouth one more time, I swear I will not spare you." Emma flinches as he strikes her, the sound echoing in the silence. She tastes blood, but her focus is on her daughter, Lily, who stands in the hallway, clutching a teddy bear, eyes wide with fear. "Mommy's here, sweetheart," Emma whispers, trying to comfort her. Michael turns sharply, his anger shifting to something darker. "Go back to bed," he barks, and Lily whimpers and retreats, leaving Emma alone with her tormentor. Emma's heart aches as she realizes she must escape. Later that night, Emma stands in front of the bathroom mirror, tracing the bruise on her cheek. She knows she has to leave. With trembling hands, she packs a small duffel bag with essentials, clothes for Lily, her passport, and an old prepaid phone. She tiptoes into Lily's room, whispering promises of an adventure. "We're going on a little adventure, sweetheart." They slip out into the night, Emma's heart racing as she drives without headlights, terrified of being followed. At a gas station, she makes a snap decision to fly instead of drive, believing it to be safer. At the airport, Emma pays cash for a ticket, clutching Lily's hand tightly. They board the plane, and Emma settles Lily against the window, wrapping her in a starry blanket. As the plane takes off, Emma's tears flow freely. She feels the weight of her past lifting, but the fear of the unknown looms large. Suddenly, a voice interrupts her thoughts. "Excuse me, can I sit here?" Emma looks up to see a tall man in a gray sweater. He seems weary but kind. "Of course," she replies, and as they sit in silence, Emma feels a strange comfort in his presence. After a while, Emma opens up about her daughter, Lily. David listens intently, his eyes reflecting a shared understanding of pain. The plane lands in Colorado Springs, and Emma feels lost without a plan. David notices her distress and offers help. "If you don't have anywhere to go, I know a place. It's a farm, quiet and secluded. You and your daughter would be safe there." Emma hesitates, but ultimately agrees, feeling a flicker of hope. The farmhouse is warm and inviting. David helps Emma and Lily settle in, offering them tea and a guest room. Emma is overwhelmed by the kindness. As she drifts off to sleep, David quietly tends to her wounds, his gentle touch bringing her comfort. Days pass, and Emma begins to heal, both physically and emotionally. She and David share their stories, forming a bond rooted in shared trauma. One evening, Emma opens up about her past, revealing the depths of her pain. "You did the bravest thing a person can do," David tells her, and their connection deepens as Emma starts to believe in the possibility of a new life. One day, Emma discovers an article about David on his laptop, revealing his identity as a former billionaire CEO. She confronts him, feeling vulnerable. "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" she asks. David explains that he wanted her to see him for who he truly was, not for his past. Feeling overwhelmed, Emma decides to leave, believing she doesn't belong in his world. Emma and Lily find refuge in a shelter, where Emma begins to rebuild her life. She volunteers, sharing her story and inspiring others. Meanwhile, David realizes he misses Emma and Lily. He begins searching for them, determined to make things right. Months later, Emma stands in front of a crowd, sharing her journey of survival. Suddenly, David appears and the room falls silent. He speaks of his own struggles and how Emma inspired him to find purpose again. As he kneels before her, he expresses his desire for a second chance, not just for himself, but for them as a family. Emma, overwhelmed with emotion, realizes that their connection has grown deeper than she ever expected. In that moment, surrounded by people who have witnessed their journey, they embrace, knowing that they both found something precious in each other, a chance to heal, to love, and to build a new life together. A new dawn. As the sun rose over a small farmhouse, Emma awoke to the sound of birds chirping outside her window. The warmth of the morning light spilled into the room, illuminating the simple decor and the quilt draped over the bed. She turned to see Lily still asleep, her small frame curled up under the starry blanket. Emma smiled softly, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. After a quick shower, Emma dressed in comfortable clothes and tiptoed downstairs, careful not to wake Lily. The farmhouse was quiet, the only sounds being the gentle creaking of the wooden floors and the distant rustle of leaves outside. Emma made her way to the kitchen, where she found David already preparing breakfast. He stood at the stove, flipping pancakes, the smell of vanilla and cinnamon wafting through the air. "Good morning," he said, glancing over his shoulder with a warm smile. "I hope you like pancakes." "Good morning." "They smell amazing," Emma replied, her heart swelling at the sight of him. There was something comforting about the way he moved, as if he belonged in the space, just as she was beginning to feel she did. As they shared breakfast, the conversation flowed easily between them. They talked about their plans for the day, and Emma felt a sense of normalcy that had been absent from her life for so long. After breakfast, David suggested they take a walk around the property. "I want to show you the garden I've been working on," he said, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. They stepped outside, the cool morning air refreshing against their skin. The garden was a riot of colors, with flowers blooming in every direction. David had planted everything from sunflowers to herbs, and Emma couldn't help but admire his dedication. "It's beautiful," she said, kneeling to touch the petals of a vibrant marigold. "You've really put a lot of love into this." "It's therapeutic," he admitted, a hint of vulnerability in his voice. "After everything that happened, I needed something to ground me. This garden became my sanctuary." As they walked through the rows of plants, Emma felt a connection growing between them, one that was deeper than mere friendship. They shared stories of their past, their dreams, and their fears. Emma found herself laughing more than she had in years, the sound ringing out like music in the air. Later that afternoon, Lily woke up and joined them outside. She ran into the garden, her eyes wide with wonder. "Can I help?" she asked, her little hands eager to dig in the dirt. Emma watched as David knelt beside her, showing her how to plant seeds. The sight of them together filled Emma with warmth. It was a glimpse of the family she had always wanted. As the days turned into weeks, Emma and Lily settled into a routine at the farmhouse. They spent their mornings in the garden, their afternoons exploring the nearby woods, and their evenings curled up on the couch reading stories. Emma felt herself healing, the bruises of her past slowly fading as she embraced this new life. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Emma turned to David. "Thank you for everything," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You've given us so much more than just a place to stay." David looked at her, his expression serious. "You've given me something too, Emma. You've reminded me what it means to care for someone, to be part of family again." Their eyes locked, and for a moment, the world around them faded away. Emma felt a rush of emotions, gratitude, hope, and something deeper that she couldn't quite name. Just then, Lily interrupted, running up to them with a handful of wildflowers. "Look, Mommy, I picked these for you." Emma took the flowers, her heart swelling with love for her daughter. "They're beautiful, sweetheart." "Thank you." She leaned down to kiss Lily's forehead, and in that moment, she realized how far she had come. As the weeks passed, the bond between Emma, Lily, and David deepened. They shared laughter, tears, and moments of vulnerability. Emma began to open up about her past, sharing the details of her toxic marriage and the pain she had endured. David listened without judgment, his heart aching for her. One night, as they sat by the fireplace, Emma finally found the courage to speak about her dreams. "I want to start a support group for women who have gone through what I did," she said, her voice steady. "I want to help them find their strength, just like I did." The following morning, Emma awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. The sun streamed through the window, casting a warm glow across the room. She glanced over at Lily, still peacefully asleep, and felt a surge of determination. Today was the day she would begin to turn her dream into reality. After breakfast, Emma sat down with a notebook and pen at the kitchen table. She began to outline her ideas for the support group, jotting down everything from potential names to topics she wanted to cover. The words flowed easily, fueled by her passion to help others. She envisioned a safe space where women could share their stories, find solace, and reclaim their lives. As she wrote, David entered the kitchen, a steaming cup of coffee in hand. "What are you working on?" he asked, leaning against the counter, his curiosity piqued. Emma looked up, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I'm starting a support group for women who have experienced domestic abuse. I want to create a community where they can feel safe and empowered." David's expression shifted to one of admiration. "That's amazing, Emma. You have such a gift for connecting with people. How can I help?" Emma smiled, grateful for his support. "I could use help spreading the word. Maybe we can put up flyers in town and reach out to local shelters." "Absolutely," he replied, his enthusiasm matching hers. "I'll help you design the flyers, and we can visit the shelters together." With a plan in place, Emma felt a weight lift off her shoulders. They spent the rest of the day working on the flyers, brainstorming catchy phrases, and designing a layout that was both inviting and informative. Lily joined in, drawing colorful pictures to decorate the flyers, her laughter filling the farmhouse with joy. As the sun began to set, they finished their project. Emma looked at the stack of flyers, her heart racing with anticipation. "This is it," she said, her voice filled with determination. "This is the first step toward making a difference." The next day, they set out to distribute the flyers. Emma felt a mix of excitement and nerves as they visited local shelters, community centers, and coffee shops. Each time they handed out a flyer, she felt a sense of purpose growing within her. She was no longer just a survivor. She was becoming a beacon of hope for others. As they walked through the town, Emma noticed a small community center that had a sign out front advertising various classes and support groups. "What about here?" she suggested, pointing to the building. "Maybe we could hold the meetings at the center." David nodded, his eyes brightening. "Let's go inside and see if they have availability." They entered the community center, greeted by a friendly receptionist. Emma explained her idea for a support group, and the receptionist smiled warmly. "We'd love to have you. We have a room available every Thursday evening. It's a great space for gatherings." Emma's heart soared. "Thank you. That's perfect." After finalizing the details, they left the community center, and Emma felt a sense of accomplishment wash over her. She was one step closer to her goal. As the days turned into weeks, Emma's support group began to take shape. She advertised the meetings through social media, local newspapers, and word of mouth. Each week, she prepared for the gatherings, creating a safe and welcoming environment for the women who would attend. On the first night of the meeting, Emma arrived early to set up the room. She arranged chairs in a circle, placed a small table with refreshments in the corner, and lit a few candles to create a calming atmosphere. Her heart raced with anticipation and anxiety. Would anyone show up? As the clock ticked closer to the start time, Emma took a deep breath, reminding herself of the purpose behind this group. She was here to help others find their voices, just as she had begun to find hers. To her surprise, women began to trickle in, each one carrying their own stories and struggles. Emma welcomed them with open arms, her heart swelling with gratitude. They shared their experiences, their fears, and their hopes, creating a bond that felt both fragile and powerful. As the evening progressed, Emma facilitated the discussion, encouraging each woman to speak and share. She listened intently, offering support and understanding. The room was filled with a sense of camaraderie, and Emma felt a warmth spreading through her chest. This was what she had envisioned, a safe space for healing. After the meeting, as the women began to leave, one woman approached Emma, her eyes glistening with tears. "Thank you for creating this space," she said, her voice trembling. "I've felt so alone for so long, and tonight I finally felt heard." The weeks rolled on, and Emma's support group continued to grow. Each Thursday evening, the community center buzzed with the energy of women coming together to share their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs. Emma felt a sense of purpose that she had never experienced before. She was not just helping others. She was also healing herself in the process. One evening, as the group wrapped up, Emma noticed a new face among the regular attendees. A woman named Sarah, with deep-set eyes and a quiet demeanor, had joined them. Emma could sense the weight of her pain, and as the meeting concluded, she approached Sarah. "Hey, I'm glad you came tonight," Emma said gently. "If you ever want to talk more, I'm here." Sarah looked up, her expression a mix of gratitude and vulnerability. "Thank you. I've been feeling really lost. I didn't know where else to turn. Emma nodded, understanding all too well the feeling of isolation. You're not alone anymore. We're all here for each other. As the weeks passed, Sarah began to open up during the meetings. She shared her story of escaping an abusive relationship, and Emma watched as the other women rallied around her, offering support and encouragement. It was a beautiful reminder of the strength that could be found in community. One day, after a particularly emotional meeting, Emma and David sat together on the porch of the farmhouse, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. Emma felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. "I never imagined I could create something like this," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "It feels like we're building a family." David smiled, his eyes reflecting the warmth of the moment. "You've done something incredible, Emma. You've given these women a voice, a place to belong. It's inspiring to see." Emma turned to him, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without your support. You've been my rock through all of this." As they sat in comfortable silence, Emma felt a shift in their relationship. The bond they had formed was deepening, and she found herself drawn to David in a way she hadn't anticipated. He had been there for her during her darkest moments, and now, as they built this new life together, she felt a flicker of hope for a future that included love. One evening, after the support group meeting, Emma decided to invite the women to a potluck dinner at the farmhouse. She wanted to create an opportunity for them to connect outside of the structured meetings, to foster friendships and support networks. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon plans were in motion. On the day of the potluck, Emma and David worked together to prepare the house. They cleaned, decorated, and set up tables in the backyard, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Lily was excited to help, running around with a basket of flowers, eager to make everything perfect. As the sun began to set, the women started to arrive, each bringing a dish to share. Laughter filled the air as they set up the food, and Emma felt a sense of joy bubbling within her. This was more than just a meal. It was a celebration of resilience and community. As they gathered around the tables, Emma stood up to say a few words. "I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. This group has become a lifeline for so many of us, and I'm grateful for each of you. Let's celebrate our strength and the bonds we're building together." The women cheered, and Emma felt a rush of emotion. They shared stories, laughter, and delicious food, and for the first time in a long time, Emma felt a sense of belonging. As the evening wore on, Emma noticed Sarah sitting quietly at the edge of the group, her eyes reflecting a mix of joy and sadness. Emma approached her, sensing that she needed a moment of connection. "Hey, how are you doing?" she asked gently. Sarah sighed, her gaze drifting to the stars beginning to twinkle in the night sky. "I'm happy to be here, but I still feel so lost sometimes. It's hard to shake off the past." Emma nodded, understanding the struggle. "It's okay to feel that way. Healing isn't linear. It takes time, and it's okay to lean on us when you need to." Sarah smiled faintly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Thank you for creating this space. I didn't think I could ever feel safe again." As the night continued, Emma felt a sense of purpose solidifying within her. She was not just a survivor. She was a leader, a friend, and a source of hope. The potluck dinner was a resounding success, and as the last of the dishes were cleared away, Emma felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The laughter and camaraderie shared among the women had created an atmosphere of warmth and healing that lingered long after the food was gone. As the guests began to leave, Emma stood at the door, hugging each woman goodbye, her heart swelling with gratitude for the connections they had forged. As the last of the women departed, Emma turned to find David leaning against the porch railing, a proud smile on his face. "You did an amazing job tonight," he said, his voice warm and sincere. "I think you created something truly special here." "Thank you," Emma replied, her cheeks flushing with pride. "I couldn't have done it without your help. You've been my rock through all of this." David stepped closer, his expression softening. "I'm just glad to be part of it. You're the one who's inspiring these women to find their voices." As they stood together, the night air cool and fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers, Emma felt a shift in the atmosphere. The connection between them had deepened, and she could sense the unspoken feelings that lingered just beneath the surface. "Emma," David began, his voice low, I've been thinking a lot about us, about what we've built together. I know we've both been through a lot, but I can't help but feel that there's something more here. Emma's heart raced as she met his gaze. I feel it too, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. But I'm scared. I've been hurt before, and I don't want to put myself or Lily in a vulnerable position again. I understand, David replied, his eyes filled with understanding. But I want you to know that I'm here for you. I want to support you, not just as a friend, but as someone who cares deeply for you and Lily. Emma felt a rush of emotions, fear, hope, and a longing for connection. I care about you too, David. You've shown me what it means to trust again, but I need time. Take all the time you need, he said, stepping back slightly to give her space. I'm not going anywhere. As the days turned into weeks, Emma continued to lead her support group, and the bonds among the women grew stronger. They shared their stories, celebrated their victories, and supported each other through the challenges of healing. Emma felt a sense of purpose that fueled her every day, but the tension between her and David lingered in the background, unspoken yet palpable. One afternoon, as Emma was preparing for the next support group meeting, she received a call from Sarah. Emma, I need to talk to you, she said, her voice shaky. Of course, what's going on? Emma asked, her heart racing. I'm having a really hard time. I thought I was getting better, but I just found out my ex is trying to contact me again. I'm scared. Emma's heart sank. I'm so sorry, Sarah. Do you want to meet up? We can talk about it. Yes, please. I could really use your support, Sarah replied, her voice trembling. They arranged to meet at a nearby cafe, and Emma arrived early, her mind racing with concern for a friend. When Sarah walked in, her eyes were filled with fear and uncertainty. Emma immediately reached out, pulling her into a comforting embrace. Let's sit down and talk, Emma said, guiding Sarah to a quiet corner of the cafe. You're safe here. As they settled into their seats, Sarah began to share her fears about her ex. I thought I was free, but now I feel like I'm being pulled back into that darkness. I don't know what to do. Emma listened intently, her heart aching for Sarah. You've come so far, and you're stronger than you realize. We can work together to create a safety plan. You don't have to face this alone. Sarah nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. I just don't want to go back to that life. I want to keep moving forward. You will. Emma reassured her. We'll figure this out together. You have a whole community behind you now. As they talked, Emma felt a renewed sense of purpose. She realized that her journey was not just about her own healing. It was about lifting others up and helping them find their strength. After their meeting, Emma returned home, her heart heavy but hopeful. She found David in the garden, tending to flowers. He looked up as he saw Emma approaching, his expression shifting from concentration to concern. Hey, how did it go with Sarah? He asked, wiping his hands on a towel. Emma sighed, her heart still heavy from the conversation. She's struggling. Her ex is trying to contact her again, and it's bringing back all the fear she thought she had overcome. David's brow furrowed with concern. That's tough. Is she okay? I think so, Emma replied, her voice steadying. We talked about creating a safety plan, and I reminded her that she's not alone. She has us, and she has a group. Good, David said, stepping closer. You're doing incredible work, Emma. You're not just helping her. You're helping so many women find their strength. Emma felt a warmth spread through her at his words. Thank you, David. It means a lot to hear that from you. As they stood together in the garden, the sun setting behind them, Emma felt the weight of the world lift just a little. She had found purpose, and with David by her side, she felt a sense of hope for the future. That evening, as they prepared for the support group meeting, Emma noticed a change in the atmosphere. The women who attended were beginning to form friendships outside of the meetings, and the sense of community was palpable. They shared laughter and stories, and Emma felt a deep sense of pride in what they had created together. During the meeting, Emma introduced a new topic, self-care. It's important to take care of ourselves as we heal, she said, her voice steady. Tonight, I want us to share what self-care means to each of us and how we can incorporate it into our lives. The women took turns sharing their thoughts, and Emma listened intently, taking notes on their ideas. Sarah spoke up, her voice stronger than before. I've started journaling again. It helps me process my feelings and remind me of how far I've come. That's wonderful, Sarah. Emma encouraged. Writing can be such a powerful tool for healing. As the meeting continued, Emma felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. The women were not just surviving, they were thriving, and it was beautiful to witness. After the meeting, as the women began to leave, Sarah approached Emma with a smile. Thank you for tonight. I feel lighter, like I can breathe again. Emma returned the smile, her heart swelling with pride. You're doing the hard work. Sarah, just remember, you're not alone in this. As the last of the women departed, Emma turned to find David waiting for her. You were amazing tonight, he said, his eyes shining with admiration. You have a gift for bringing people together. Thank you, Emma replied, feeling a blush creep to her cheeks. I couldn't do it without your support. As they walked home together, the air was filled with the sounds of crickets chirping and the distant rustle of leaves. Emma felt a sense of peace settle over her, and she turned to David. I've been thinking about what you said the other night, she began, her heart racing, about wanting to be more than friends. David stopped walking, his expression serious. I meant every word, Emma. I care about you and Lily deeply. I want to be there for you both. Emma took a deep breath, her heart pounding. I care about you too, but I'm still scared. I don't want to rush into anything. I understand, he said, his voice gentle. I'm not asking for anything right now. I just want you to know that I'm here, and I'm willing to wait for you. Emma felt a rush of emotions, fear, hope, and a longing for connection. Thank you for being so patient with me, she said, her voice softening. I need time to figure things out. Take all the time you need, David replied, his eyes warm and understanding. I'll be right here. As they reached the farmhouse, Emma felt a sense of comfort in the familiarity of their home. She knew that whatever the future held, she had built a strong foundation for herself and Lily. The next day, Emma decided to take a step further in her journey of healing. She reached out to a local therapist who specialized in trauma and domestic abuse. After a few phone calls, she scheduled an appointment for herself and encouraged Sarah to do the same. When she shared the news with Sarah during their next meeting, Sarah's eyes lit up. That's a great idea, Emma. I think I need to talk to someone. The following week, Emma and Sarah both attended their first therapy sessions. Emma felt a mix of anxiety and anticipation as she walked into the therapist's office, a cozy space filled with soft lighting and comfortable furniture. She took a deep breath, reminding herself that this was another step toward healing. As she sat down, the therapist, Dr. Kate, greeted her with a warm smile. I'm glad you're here, Emma. This is a safe space for you to share whatever you feel comfortable discussing. Emma nodded, her heart racing. Thank you. I've been through a lot, and I want to work through it. Over the next hour, Emma opened up about her past, her toxic marriage, and the journey she had taken to reclaim her life. Dr. Kate listened intently, offering gentle guidance and support. Emma felt a weight lift off her shoulders as she spoke, realizing that sharing her story was a crucial part of her healing process. Meanwhile, Sarah was having her own breakthrough. In her session, she spoke about the fear that had gripped her since her ex had tried to contact her. I thought I was strong enough to handle it, but now I feel like I'm back at square one, she admitted, her voice trembling. Dr. Kate reassured her. It's completely normal to feel that way. Healing isn't linear, and it's okay to seek help when you need it. Let's work together to develop strategies to help you feel safe and empowered. As the weeks went by, both Emma and Sarah continued their therapy sessions, finding strength in their vulnerability. They shared their experiences with the support group, encouraging other women to seek help as well. The group became a sanctuary for healing, and Emma felt a sense of pride in the community they had built. One evening, after a particularly powerful meeting, Emma and David sat on the porch, the stars twinkling above them. Emma felt a sense of calm wash over her as she reflected on how far she had come. I never imagined I could feel this way again, she said, her voice soft. I'm starting to believe in myself. David turned to her, his expression serious yet tender. You've done the hard work, Emma. You face your fears and help so many others in the process. You're an inspiration. Emma felt her heart flutter at his words. Thank you, David. Your support has meant everything to me. I don't know what I would have done without you. As they sat in comfortable silence, Emma felt the tension between them shift once more. She turned to David, her heart racing. I've been thinking about us. I want to explore this connection we have, but I need to take it slow. I completely understand, he replied, his eyes warm and inviting. I'm here for you, no matter what pace you choose. With that reassurance, Emma felt a sense of relief. She knew that she could take her time, and that their bond would only grow stronger as they navigated this new chapter together. As the weeks turned into months, Emma's support group flourished. They organized workshops, invited guest speakers, and even planned a retreat for the women to bond and heal together. Emma felt a sense of purpose that fueled her every day, and she was grateful for the friendships that had blossomed within the group. One day, as Emma was preparing for the retreat, she received a call from Sarah. Emma, I have some news, Sarah said, her voice filled with excitement. What is it? Emma asked, her curiosity piqued. I've decided to take a leap of faith. I'm moving to a new apartment, away from my old life. I want to start fresh. Emma's heart soared. That's amazing, Sarah. I'm so proud of you. This is a huge step toward reclaiming your life. I couldn't have done it without you in the group, Sarah replied, her voice filled with gratitude. You've shown me that I'm stronger than I thought. As the retreat approached, Emma felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She wanted to create an unforgettable experience for the women, a chance for them to bond and heal in a beautiful setting. She and David spent hours planning activities, from nature walks to journaling sessions, all designed to foster connection and self-discovery. On the day of the retreat, Emma arrived at the serene lakeside cabin, her heart racing with anticipation. The air was crisp, and the sun shone brightly over the water. As the women began to arrive, Emma greeted each one with open arms, her heart swelling with pride at the community they had built. As the weekend unfolded, Emma watched as the women connected, shared. As the sun rose on their first morning as a married couple, Emma and David awoke to the soft sound of birds chirping outside their window. The warmth of the sunlight spilled into their cozy bedroom, and Emma smiled, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. Good morning, beautiful, David said, his voice still thick with sleep. He reached over to brush a strand of hair from her face, and Emma felt her heart flutter. Good morning, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. I can't believe we're finally here. After a leisurely breakfast filled with laughter and shared dreams, they decided to take a stroll through the nearby park. Hand in hand, they wandered along the winding paths, surrounded by blooming flowers and the vibrant colors of spring. Emma felt a sense of hope and renewal, as if the world was opening up for them. Have you thought about what we want to do for our honeymoon? David asked, glancing at her with a playful smile. I have a few ideas, Emma said, her eyes sparkling. I'd love to explore the coast, maybe rent a little cabin by the beach. That sounds perfect, he replied, squeezing her hand. Just us, the ocean, and some time to relax. As they continued their walk, they talked about their future, traveling, building a home together, and perhaps starting a family one day. Each conversation deepened their bond, and Emma felt a sense of belonging she had longed for. Later that evening, they hosted a small gathering with close friends and family to celebrate their union. Laughter filled the air as stories were shared, and Emma felt grateful for the love surrounding them. In that moment, she realized how far she had come and how much she had to look forward to. As the night wore on, Emma and David found a quiet moment on the balcony, gazing at the stars. I never thought I could feel this happy, Emma confessed, leaning against the railing. Neither did I, David replied, wrapping his arms around her. But I believe we're meant to be together. You brought so much light into my life. With a smile, Emma turned to face him. I want to cherish every moment we have together. Let's make this journey unforgettable. As they stood there, the world around them faded away, and all that mattered was the love they shared. They knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, hand in hand, ready to embrace their new chapter. Title: A New Beginning, Part 8. The weeks following their wedding were a whirlwind of joy and discovery. Emma and David settled into their new life, filled with shared routines and spontaneous adventures. They explored local cafes, took weekend trips to nearby towns, and spent quiet evenings at home, cooking together and enjoying each other's company. One Saturday morning, Emma woke up with a burst of inspiration. "Let's do something different today," she suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "How about a day trip to the mountains?" David raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "The mountains? That sounds amazing. What do you have in mind?" "I found a hiking trail that leads to a beautiful waterfall. We can pack a picnic and spend the day outdoors," she replied, her enthusiasm infectious. After a quick breakfast, they gathered supplies, sandwiches, fruit, and a blanket, and set off on their adventure. The drive was filled with laughter and music, the anticipation of the day ahead fueling their excitement. Upon arriving at the trailhead, they were greeted by the fresh scent of pine and the sound of rustling leaves. Emma felt a sense of freedom as they hiked, the beauty of nature surrounding them. They shared stories, reminisced about their journey, and talked about their dreams for the future. As they reached the waterfall, Emma gasped at the sight. The water cascaded down the rocks, sparkling in the sunlight. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined," she exclaimed, her heart swelling with joy. They spread out the blanket and enjoyed their picnic, the sound of the waterfall providing a soothing backdrop. "This is perfect," David said, leaning back on his elbows. "I love spending time like this with you." After lunch, they decided to explore the area further. Emma felt a rush of adrenaline as they climbed over rocks and ventured closer to water. Suddenly, she slipped, her foot sliding on a wet stone. Before she could react, David was there, catching her in his arms. "Whoa, I've got you," he said, his voice steady and reassuring. Emma looked up at him, her heart racing, not just from the near fall, but from the way he held her, strong and protective. "Thank you," she breathed, a smile spreading across her face. "I guess I need to be more careful." As they continued their exploration, they stumbled upon a secluded spot by the water's edge. The sunlight filtered through the trees, creating a magical atmosphere. Emma felt a wave of inspiration wash over her. "Let's take a picture here," she suggested, pulling out her phone. They posed together, arms around each other, laughter echoing in the serene surroundings. As Yememe reviewed the photo, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the life they were building together. Later that evening, as they drove home, Emma reflected on the day. "I love how we can just be ourselves together," she said, glancing at David. "It feels so natural." "I feel the same way," he replied, his gaze focused on the road ahead. "You make everything better, Emma. I can't wait to see what else life has in store for us." As they arrived home, Emma felt a sense of contentment. They had created beautiful memories, and she knew this was just the beginning of their journey together. In the days that followed, Emma began to explore her passion for art again. She set up a small studio in their home, filled with canvases and paints. David encouraged her every step of the way, often joining her to create their own masterpieces. One evening, as they painted side by side, Emma looked over at David, who was completely absorbed in his work. "You know, I've always wanted to have an art show," she confessed, her voice filled with hope. "Then let's make it happen," he said without hesitation. "You have so much talent, Emma. I believe in you." With his support, Emma began planning her first art show. She reached out to local galleries and organized a small exhibition to showcase her work. The excitement built as the date approached, and she felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. On the night of the show, Emma stood in front of her paintings, her heart racing. Friends, family, and even strangers filled the gallery, admiring her art. David stood by her side, beaming with pride. As the evening unfolded, Emma felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. She had taken a leap of faith, and it was paying off. The connection she made that night, the conversation sparked by her art, filled her with joy. Later, as they walked home hand in hand, Emma turned to David, her heart full. "Thank you for believing in me," she said softly. "I couldn't have done this without you."